As we've talked about the Appropriations Committee that you serve on and the budget obviously coming up for the next fiscal year, one of these items we hear about pretty much every year for the last several years is the growing amount of the state budget that goes toward Medicaid.
This is a huge year for that, and every year it is, but Medicaid is far out past our school funding right now. So over 40% of the budget is going to Medicaid, and it's just so huge. I mean, and there's people in need. I don't argue about that and everything. It's just our ability to manage it and properly fund that, but everything else the state needs. It's really gotten to be a handful, but it's surpassed this year of what it's done. And there's going to be more and more demand for it. I was amazed this year, part of the testimony dealt with the funding we do for Medicaid patients in nursing homes. And nursing homes have been hit now due to the increase in minimum wage, which they weren't paying very many people, but they had to take up other people to make them a lot larger than the starting balance and to retain people. It's going to cost nursing homes $64 million just to up the salaries enough to take care of the new minimum wage law passed by the people. So that demand comes back to the budget committee. And how are they going to do it? Nursing homes are struggling right now. Legislation over the past several years trying to help them, and a number of them have had to close. The reason why they're closing is because of many Medicaid people. If you're an older nursing home, you may get $135 a day for Medicaid. A new one will get $165, but Medicare, they'll get $450. So nursing homes, a lot of them now are just rejecting Medicaid because the payment's so low. So we're trying to get payment up, but there again, it's coming back at a cost. We're not going to let people get kicked out of nursing homes, but still have to manage it all to make it all work together. But I think it's almost half the state budget goes there. $11 billion going to Medicaid assistance. And there are programs coming under that, like the M-CHIP program, allows anyone parent to have free insurance for their kids, basically, if they make less than $34,000 a year, and then it's subsidized up to $64,000 a year. So there are programs out there that we fund the FQHCs, and people can use those, and that's a great asset. So we're not leaving people out in the dark. It's just tough to manage that money, and we want to give schools all we can. We've still got prisons, we've got highways, we've got everything else out there that we've got to go for and use. The federal government's very good about giving us some of our money back in doing so, but it still is huge amounts, say over $11 billion. Some say up to $14 billion maybe this year.
How much of this is state and how much of this is federally mandated?
Well, funding-wise, about 2/3 of it comes from the feds, and about 1/3 of it comes from Missouri residents, and there's bed taxes, there's this tax and that tax. There's not a lot of federal mandates on it that I'm aware of, per se. It's just that we're working together trying to make sure that people, the truly vulnerable people, are taken care of.
I know the last, especially 2 years, you've done a lot in terms of, and the legislature in total has done a lot in terms of trying to get nursing homes some help in any way possible.
That's been one of my passions, is trying to help nursing homes out, because that is in your final years of life, or temporarily if you're in there. I mean, I had my parents in, I've got an aunt in there now. Became pretty familiar with the situation. I was head of a committee 2 years ago. We met in the summer months, had a number of hearings about it, taking testimony, and really got to know the proposal really well, and I currently serve on Certificate of Need. So people have to come in, and if there's, depending on the price and what all's involved and everything, to get a certificate to proceed on building a new nursing home. Presently, we cannot pay for remodels. We cannot up their rates, so there's no benefit to the owner and can't afford it oftentimes. If the occupancy rate is slipping in nursing homes, we're trying to keep more people at home and where they have home health care. The area Office on Aging is great about Meals on Wheels. Our senior citizen centers in our small communities, what all they do and everything. So trying to manage it best we can. Sometimes I think we're made out to be these cruel people in Jefferson City that are just out to, kick these people in the teeth that need help or whatever. And I want people to know that we are compassionate up here. 40% of our budget goes there, and we do have compassion up there trying to help as many people as we can. And Missouri citizens are very passionate about helping people through their churches, through the local organizations. And I think American citizens overall, we're the first giving relief to foreign countries when they're hit with some type of disaster. And Venezuela right now has got all these issues, but we're lining up the border trying to get food into them. And even though their president won't allow it and the country's starving, the United States is there to help. So we're a very generous nation, very generous state, and very generous people.